Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Nick here, back with a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about Hbar, which is no surprise, obviously. This one is just a massive project that I just have to really keep updating you guys on because we're almost seeing updates on it almost daily in terms of just more use cases being available to us. Currently, right now, we are seeing, this first NFT-based football game being built on Hedera, which is backed by Hbar itself. Which is also very cool and very interesting. Like I said, when I was talking about Matic when it was under 40 cents, I was basically saying like almost every other day, there was a new use case added. More partnerships, more adoption overall, because it was almost like a partnership almost every single day, right? It was getting massively adopted. And now we're really seeing the same thing with Hbar. We're seeing more partnerships, more adoption happening. And guess what? We're under 30 cents this time instead of under, 50 cents or 40 cents or even 30 cents, right? Because we did dip under 20 cents under this dip. And now I will say, anybody who was able to buy under 20 cents, I really congratulate you. That's incredible. For me personally, I accumulated so much Hbar since January. I'm just fully stacked on it. I keep adding and adding and adding. It's almost like an addiction at this point. But hey, when we're seeing stuff like this, where we're seeing bullish announcements almost every single day, it's hard not to buy, right? So nonetheless, let's jump into this overall. So Animoca Brands, Helix, and Hedera Hashgraph will develop a non-fungible NFT-based football game that will utilize the intellectual properties of famous football clubs under license to Animoca Brands. Now, what's very interesting about this is that this isn't the only use case that we're seeing here, right? Yeah, they're backing the NFT token for this game, but for the most part, the coolest thing about this is what they're actually building with Helix, and we'll jump into that. But firstly, I want to say the reason why I think that this is really cool for Hedera is because right now we are trading at about almost 27 cents, right? We're at 26.8 in terms of the cent range, right? But the cool thing is that when we look at something like Decentraland, right? Because we already know what Decentraland is. It's an NFT-based game. Users could pretty much build things and sell it as NFTs. But what's really cool about this is because I was accumulating under 30 cents again. I was actually accumulating at around 11 cents was my main buy-ins back here in January. I was actually buying this in D&T as well as Civic at the time, right? But this one outperformed Civic and D&T like crazy. I mean, it was massive, right? But for the most part, what's interesting is, Mana is just a decentralized game itself that is based around NFTs. And it has almost a $2 billion market cap currently. Now, the market cap for Hbar right now is about a $2.2 billion market cap total, right? Now, basically, they're building this NFT-based football game, but they're also building something very special that I think will outperform Mana long term. And I'm not saying that Mana is not going to be valuable, because I'm still very bullish on Mana. I still hold Mana. But the thing is that when we're looking at prices like, for an example, $1.60 in terms of the price for Mana, when we look at Hbar under 30 cents, it's night and day, right? But Hbar offers so much more than what Mana really offers. And that's why I'm saying, with more use cases that are pretty much competing with other projects, there's no choice but to really have something happen here. Because we have been consolidating for 72 days total, and the number keeps moving as we don't do anything, right? But we are seeing us break out of this, downward slope that we were on into an upward slope, as well as pretty much the entire market kind of doing that as well, with Bitcoin kind of ranging higher and higher overall. But what's cool about this announcement is this right here, right? So Animoca Brands, Helix, and Hedera Hashgraph will also collaborate to develop and launch Helix Warp, an independent and distributed online gaming platform. Now, this is big. I mean, this is massive. And the reason why this is huge is because we're not going to only just have one NFT-based football game, right? We're going to have multiple games that are going to outshine a lot of these other projects, like, for example, Mana. Now, I'm not saying it's going to kill Mana. I'm just saying it's going to outperform it overall. And it's going to add a lot more use cases and a lot more value to HBAR long term as well. More adoption and more partnerships with HBAR adds a lot more value to its core foundation, in my opinion. That's why the Chainlink integration was huge, right? But a lot of people were saying, well, why isn't the price moving? A Chainlink integration is massive, but why is the price still staying low? Listen, if I had that argument where I see these people, I want to buy, XRP, right? XRP is a major one because, that's where we've seen the biggest dip in terms of price, in my opinion, right? We were trading at $1.92, and everybody's like, well, I wanted to buy cheap, I wanted to get it under $1 again. All of a sudden, this dollar comes, right? And we're at like 70, 80 cents, and nobody's buying, right? Nobody wants to buy it, right? Except for people who have strong hands, right? That's the same thing with HBAR right now. If you're complaining that, the price is, so cheap, it's not moving, just accumulate. And I'm not saying just accumulate in terms of a financial advisor or anything like that, because I'm not. This is purely entertainment only. But for the most part, is if you want something to really move, right, it needs to do something like this. We don't want something to just go straight up, right? Because we already know this market, right? If we zoom out here, right, and if from our current prices, say for so, we did something like this, right? We went from this price and we just shot up to $1, right? Or 97 cents, right? What do you think is going to happen next? Because this game is not an up-only game. Long term, yeah, we continue to go up. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's a perfect example of this. But what do you think happens once we go straight up like this? A correction happens, right? That's what happens. We come down. People's buy orders or sell orders get hit. And then all of a sudden we just collapse. That's if something goes straight up. Now, if we do something where it's more like, sorry about that. Let's delete that. Now, if we do something more like this, where we just slowly build, we're slowly building a foundation, and we're slowly building, it's continuously up, and all of a sudden we top those dollars amounts and stuff like that. That's where we see a strong support being, built at some levels in here. We've seen it with Matic, right? Matic is a massive project in my opinion. And guess what? This has really shown us where the bull run's headed, because Matic is really almost at its all-time high again before this dip even happened. It's almost as if this dip didn't happen for Matic, right? Because Matic is a massive project. This one is so strong, and I've been talking about this one for a very long time. I love this project so much, and it's not even just because of the price, it's just because of the overall use, right? Now, I did see them partner with Mark Cuban today. I didn't really like that, my personal standpoint on that, just overall. But the reason why I bring this up as well is because this is another idea of, hey, it didn't just go straight up. We built that foundation. We jumped up, built that foundation around, that 70, or I would say, 67 cent to 80 plus cent range. We built it. We traded sideways a little bit, and we built back up. Right? It's the building blocks of crypto. That's what I call it. The building blocks of crypto. We got to build this chart to get to those healthy pumps. Right? So if you're complaining that, hey, we're not moving right now, sometimes that's also a good thing, right? First off, we're in this buy zone that we could just continue to accumulate HBAR, right? Wait for paychecks to roll in. Let's throw a little bit in, kind of accumulate, see what happens. Perfect time, right? Perfect time. And yeah, we're trading sideways for about 72 days, right? Yeah, nothing's happening, whatever. Don't be mad at it. The best way I could just say is just be patient, really, because this is almost only 3 months of just accumulating and consolidation. Everybody's saying, yeah, it's dead, it's a dead project. No, it's not, dude. Look we're still getting adoption happening in here. If we read this overall, I mean, if I wanted to go over this fully with you guys and waste time on just reading this, I could do that. But I'm not going to read all over this and just really just kind of waste time. We already know what they're doing, right? But for the most part, the really cool key points to this is, one, NFTs will be redeemable for a fixed and guaranteed amount of the underlying crypto asset, which is massive. They're going to be pretty much building an independent and distributed online gaming platform. Crazy. You know, that means more use cases, more value, more games being built on this platform just instead of just an NFT football game. Then we see here the mission is to create a fair and decentralized ecosystem of gaming-related products and services to combat the chronic problem of cheating in online multiplayer games. Massive. And they tell us how. I mean, obviously, we don't really need to record to pretty much, you know, read that overall. But we also see this, that game developers will be able to plug into Helix Warp and develop or deploy hack-resistant leaderboards in their games. Huge problem. Anybody who's in gaming could understand that hacking is such a bad thing right now, especially during these times. So this is crazy. I could definitely see this being used, you know, overall, just in general, right? And you know, we're also seeing, you know, down here that the Hedera consensus service will basically be used as the foundational technology layers for both the projects described above. So we're seeing that a lot more, you know, in terms of Hbar is going to be, you know, utilized and adopted into these systems. And we see here the Hedera token service enables the configuration management and transfer of high throughput native fungible and non-fungible tokens without having to deploy expensive and potentially faulty smart contracts. Guys, Hbar is doing massive things. It's doing major things. Partnerships almost every single day, right? We've seen this one just the other day, the medical value chain partnership, or integration, I should say. We also seen the Chainlink integration. I mean, guys, if you're not bullish on Hbar just because, hey, we didn't move, such a terrible argument, to be honest, right? Because we could argue that, you know, almost none of these projects move for a while, right? Got to push up on mana here, consolidate it for a little bit. If we look here at the date range, look at this, you know, 13 days before the next pump up. Another time, look at this, another 17 days or so before that next push up. Guys, all these projects do the same exact thing. You know, look at this. This is a perfect example, right? Because Matic is one of those bullish projects. I still remain very bullish on it. 46 days of consolidating, and if we actually take this back, because you know it didn't really move much considering the people's early entries, right? Because even like, you know, my earliest entry back in the beginning of February. No, it was 75 days before we seen any push up, and it's actually even earlier than that because going back to like early January. You know, it's over 100 days of consolidating. You know, for little pumps here and there like this, right? Which we've seen on Hbar, right? We've seen this little pump here, this little pump here, this one here. For the most part, we are still moving. You know, we're about to break. There it is, 27 cents, right? So we're nearly back at key support levels from even back here in the beginning of, you know, May. So we're still ranging to go much, much higher. I'm still expecting 30 cents to be broken very soon, and I still think that the all-time high is in our grasp in probably another week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, before we go into price discovery. And I just want to stress that, you know, once Matic went into price discovery, we've seen what happened. You know, this was, you know, from this point from the 24th of April at 37 cents to this point, it only took 24 days to move this much, right? And yeah, we could stress that that happened in a fast point, but it actually didn't. We built this foundation of support, and that's what I want to see with Hedera, right? We're building that support level. We're still building, right? Even back here, we built this, you know, great little floor here before Bitcoin really kind of just broke that, right? So we still have to build back. We still have to range a little bit higher, but for the most part, we're still going to go to astronomical rates to where we're hitting those nice price targets of $1 plus, and it's going to happen. Just please be patient. This game is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I just want you guys to remain calm, remain collective, and just play smart, guys. This isn't, you know, a casino where you throw your money in and you might win. You know, you're investing in solid projects. Seeing stuff like this, or even like the MVC, you know, partnership that I talked about, seeing stuff like that should make you guys, you know, if anything, you know, more patient, because you're like, well, I know what I'm invested in. I know what I have. So why not just wait a little bit? But nonetheless, guys, enough of me rambling on. I have a ton more content to really upload, as well as, I do plan on live streaming here shortly. But nonetheless, this has been Nick. I hope that you guys all have an amazing night or day wherever you are. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. It helps the channel grow. Also, if you guys want more free content, follow me on Twitter at NCashOfficial, and also join the Discord in the description below. I appreciate you all watching this content. Thank you all for watching. This has been Nick. Peace out.